It's Daniel Fang here with Drumeo. Let's talk about drumming with Turnstile. Some of my favorite drum parts, I love playing Don't Play. So it starts out really fast tempo, and it's just like a hardcore punk beat that's just... There's a fill in there that we actually took some time on because we were like, all right, this is a really fast tempo. I want to have a fill that just like feels kind of like crazy and chaotic, that you're just like falling down some stairs kind of thing. So we did something with like some like inverted doubles between like hands and feet. I think on the record it was kind of any variation of that has the same feel. I think live I do. It feels kind of crazy when you orchestrate it across the different drums. The rest of the song is basically, for the verse and choruses, this feel that's... On the choruses, Brendan had like this last minute idea to hop up and do this rhythm on the woodblock. I do it on the ride and play like a slightly like modified version of it.
Yeah.
And it's basically... For the guitar solo section, I do that same rhythm on the cowbell.
Yeah.
So... And that's so fun to play. Most of Blackout is like another kind of like punk rock beat. And then there's this like bass guitar and drum section where it's that same beat with a cowbell rhythm going. It was played with two hands, like just on a cowbell tree.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I can't physically do that. How do I make it work with just one hand playing it? I basically just do this. If this is the cowbell, like...
Brendan plays drums, you obviously play drums. And does anyone else in the band?
Yeah, Franz, the bassist.
Do you look at that as like, that's a huge win or an advantage, having three drummers, or does that lead to a lot of you like butting heads over certain parts or when you're writing or recording?
No, yeah, it's definitely only makes things easier, being able to like speak in a certain language. But that's like what music is. It's like communicating a feeling, communicating an idea through this medium. The last part of the song, it's kind of like a whole different like movement of the song. It's really just like an outro, and it's pretty short. It goes from this like really aggressive breakdown sort of part into something inspired by go-go music.
We got the whole crew in the house tonight. We got the new school in the house tonight.
It's a type of music that is like totally drums and percussion oriented, where you have like a drummer and you have a conga player, you have a timbale player, sometimes rototoms. So that was inspired by that type of music, and all credit goes to like DC area, which is where we grew up. Yeah, that's just like really fun to play live because it's just me and Brendan kind of jamming for a few seconds.
Yeah. There's another song that caught my attention when I first heard it, and it's called Big Smile.
Yeah.
And it's another one where you're playing like a punk beat, and then you go back to kind of like that soca rhythm, like da ga do guts, da do gut.
A beat like that, I think that just like emphasizes like this like bass drum, like just like quarter note pulse, where the snare drum has, you know, these like upbeats that you know, it's hard to describe, but it just gives it a certain energy where like you can just kind of groove to it. Mostly it just like, it contrasts really like fast, like punk beat. We just try to like highlight that contrast with. Holiday is really fun. One kind of like unintended exciting thing about it is that like bass guitar starts it off, and it's this very kind of like muted, soft sound, and sometimes people can't recognize what it is at first. But then we come in with like what we call the beat boops. People recognize that immediately and get really hyped. So it's a cool way to kind of like start the momentum going in that song.
Is there one song or one groove on a particular song that maybe goes unnoticed?
The groove in Mystery is like very simple. I just love how it locks in with the guitars, with the bass, and even with like the cadence of the vocals. That's it. And it's just kind of like, you know, paradiddle inspired, bouncy type groove, but it feels so good.